So you came in 1961. 1966 was when you took over for,
right.
And during those 5 years, you were pretty much assistant band director, trumpet,
right.
freelance, all that stuff. Okay.
Did that thing. So.
So when you took over in '66, did you have an assistant?
Larry Sutherland was still there. I hired John Alexander from Don Minks down in Arkansas, who really saved my bacon. He was a Michigan graduate.
Hey, every good leader knows you hired good people to work with you. That's how you
Trust
get it done.
me, I surrounded myself my whole life with people who were very, very bright and very talented.
Very important.
And so, but at the end of the year, the band had shrunk to about 140. And I said, this doesn't look good. So I went on the recruiting trail, and the next year we had 200 people in the band.
Oh, that was a good recruiting trail.
And from there it went between 250. I like 240. I love 240. I was 8 company fronts of 32. It was great, and we'd have about 20 alternates, and plus the Golden Girl.
So we want to talk a little bit about the design back in the 60s, because of course what you see on the field now doesn't even hardly resemble what you did. So tell me about your first design ideas with the band.
First of all, a lot of band directors, their bands are from their personal. I mean, you know, they don't worry about the audience. I'll tell you a neat story. Iowa State came to town my first year, and I had a great show with Sound of Music, Do Re Mi. I spelled everything out, and Frank Pearsall was a band director. But he formed a square, and he had some cue balls down at the bottom, and he played Henry Mancini's March of the thing, and the place went crazy.
So you could see the cue balls being hit?
Yes, it was.
What year was this?
This was 1966.
I mean, this sounds like something Ohio State would do right now. This is a very Ohio State thing.
Oh, we did a lot of that stuff back there without computers. We did it the hard way. But the people went crazy. So embarrassment is a great motivator.
The wrong embarrassment,
so I said,
yes.
There may be bands that march better than we do or play better than we do, but nobody's going to give a show better than what we're going to do.
There you go.
And that was my guiding principle all the time, and it worked quite well, I must say.
Do you have a favorite show from that early period?
Well, every show was my favorite because I was the producer. My goodness, you know, I couldn't.
How do I ask that of him?
Right. But I made a list of some things that I think we ought to talk about.
Okay.
The longest living legacy that we have today had nothing to do with the marching band or the playing, or it had to do with Mizzou.
Yes. What's the story behind the chant?
We had gone to Ohio State, and they did an OHIO, and dear Cedric Lemmy, one of my great saxophone players, African-American kid, terrific, he brought that back, and we started teaching it to it gradually.
M-I-Z-Z-O-U.
And so we did.
So give me a year. What year was this?
What year was that? That was in the early 70s.
Okay, early 70s.
In the early 70s. So we gradually taught it to them.
And we still do it.
We still
do it in academic settings. They do it at graduation.
Listen, when everywhere. 2 people from Missouri meet, that's what they say.
It is.
So, but let me tell you about Cedric Lemmy. He was a music education major, really had outstanding bands here in Missouri, but he went to Long Island and he became the band director at Hempstead High School, where I graduated from in 1954.
Wow! That is very cool!
It gets even better. I didn't know it at the time, but my orchestra director, Imogen Boyle, was born in Centralia, got her degree at Northwest Missouri State, and went east.
Oh my
goodness! So I was destined to
come back to Mizzou.
To come here.
You were.
So, the best halftime show.
Yes, what is the best? Now, is this of your whole career, or is this of the 60s?
This is the whole thing.
All right, your best halftime show of entire, how many years were you the director?
From
66 to 82, so 26 years, yeah.
22. But
favorite?
I finally got my act together, and I was cruising with the marching band, And it was the Orange Bowl of 1970.
I mean, it's the Orange Bowl. That had to be such a huge highlight.
It was amazing, and that was the last major bowl the team went to. I mean, they haven't been to a major bowl since that one.
So what was in the show?
The star of the show was a water skier. We actually formed a water skier at one end zone, brought him up, and took him down the field.
Wow!
And you know, the attention that got from all over. I've got letters and certificates and everything. So that.
What was the music you played?
California Surfing or something.
Beach
and
Boys.
So it was. And we went up against the Penn State band.
And they're a great program.
They're a great band, and so I was one to let the drum majors do all that before it became popular. And so the band director from Penn State came in and he said, "Al, Marching," I said, "There's nothing I can do for them now." Plus, it was a 6-minute show.
That's a long show.
Which we did in 5 minutes and 50 seconds. And when the kids got off the field, I mean, they
were exhausted.
But it was the smoothest, best show.
That's fantastic.
It was terrific, and put us on the map.